Imagine you're suddenly dropped into the heart of a medieval winter. Snow blankets everything, the wind howls like a starving wolf, and the air is so cold it feels like tiny needles pricking your skin. Your modern clothes are useless, you have no supplies, and worst of all, you have no fire, not a single spark. How long do you think you'd last? An hour? A day? The answer might surprise you, and it reveals just how brutal life was for our ancestors. Let's dive into this chilling scenario and see if you could beat the odds. The first and most immediate threat isn't starvation or a hungry wolf pack, it's hypothermia. Your body is a remarkable furnace, but in these conditions, it's losing heat fast. The moment your core temperature drops below 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 Celsius, you're in trouble. Shivering starts, your muscles tense up, and your brain fogs over. You might feel confused, clumsy. This isn't just discomfort. It's the beginning of the end. Without an external heat source like a fire, your body is fighting a losing battle against the raw, biting cold. Your survival clock has officially started ticking. So, what's your first move? Standing around in the open is a death sentence. You need shelter, and you need it now. A natural cave or a dense thicket of pine trees would be a godsend. The goal is to get out of the wind. Wind chill can make freezing temperatures feel exponentially colder, stripping heat from your body with terrifying efficiency. If you can't find a natural shelter, you'll have to build one. A snow cave or a quingy would be your best bet. By burrowing into the snow, you can use its insulating properties to your advantage. Inside a properly built snow shelter, the temperature can be significantly warmer than the outside air, often hovering around freezing point, even when it's much colder outside. It's not a cozy fireplace, but it's the difference between life and death. But just finding shelter isn't enough. You're still losing precious body heat. This is where your medieval wardrobe or lack thereof comes into play. If you were truly a medieval peasant, you'd likely have wool clothing. Wool is a miracle fabric for cold weather. Unlike cotton, which becomes a cold, wet rag when it gets damp, wool retains its insulating properties even when wet. It wicks moisture away from your skin, which is crucial. Layers are key. A linen undertunic to absorb sweat, followed by multiple layers of wool, and an outer cloak to block the wind. Fur would be even better, but as a commoner, that's a luxury you likely can't afford. Without these specific materials, your modern clothes, especially if they're cotton, would quickly become your worst enemy, chilling you to the bone once they get damp from sweat or melting snow. Let's assume you've built a crude shelter and you're huddled inside, trying to conserve every last bit of warmth. The shivering has become intense. Your next big problem is dehydration. You might think you don't need water when it's freezing, but you're losing moisture with every breath you exhale, and shivering burns a ton of calories and fluids. You're surrounded by snow, but eating it directly is a terrible idea. Your body has to use vital energy to melt it, which lowers your core temperature even further. You need to find a way to melt it without fire. The best method is to use your own body heat. You could pack snow into a container, if you can find one, maybe a piece of bark or a leather pouch, and keep it close to your body, inside your layers of clothing. It's a slow, inefficient process, but it provides water without making you colder. Finding running water, like a stream that hasn't completely frozen over, would be ideal, but also incredibly dangerous. Falling in would mean certain death. Now, let's talk about calories. Your body is burning through energy at an alarming rate just to stay warm. You need food, and you need it badly. But what can you eat in a medieval winter landscape? The fields are barren, covered in snow. The trees are bare. Foraging is nearly impossible. There are no berries, no edible greens. Your best bet would be to find what little life is still active. Maybe you could find some dormant insects under tree bark or dig for grubs in a rotting log. Not exactly an appealing meal, but it's pure protein and fat, exactly what your body needs. You could also look for nuts and seeds that might have been missed by squirrels, like acorns or pine nuts. You'd need to know which ones are safe to eat, of course. For example, many types of acorns need to be processed to remove tannins before they're edible. Without fire, boiling them is off the table, making them a risky choice. What about hunting? Without tools, no bow, no spear, no traps, your chances of catching anything larger than a mouse are practically zero. You might be able to craft a simple snare from plant fibers or your own shoelaces if you have them, and try to catch a rabbit or a squirrel. But this requires knowledge, skill, and a lot of luck. Animals are smart, and they're also trying to survive. You're competing with natural predators who are far better equipped for this than you are. The stark reality is, finding a reliable food source in the dead of winter without fire or proper tools is an almost insurmountable challenge. You'd be living on the edge, one missed meal away from disaster. As the hours turn into days, your mental state would begin to deteriorate. The isolation, the constant, gnawing cold, and the perpetual darkness of the long winter nights would take a heavy toll. This is a battle fought not just in the body, but in the mind. Hope is a resource as vital as food and water. It's easy to give in to despair, to just lie down in the snow and let the cold take you. This is what's known as paradoxical undressing, a strange phenomenon in the final stages of hypothermia, where victims feel incredibly hot and start removing their clothes, hastening their own demise. To survive, you'd need an iron will. You'd have to focus on small, achievable tasks. Improve your shelter, find a handful of pine nuts, melt a little more snow. You'd have to fight the fog of confusion and maintain the will to live against overwhelming odds. So, how long could you really survive? If you're unprepared, caught in the open without proper clothing or any knowledge, you might not last more than a few hours before severe hypothermia sets in. If you're lucky and smart, finding or building a shelter immediately, wearing the right clothes, and managing to find minimal water and sustenance, you might extend that to a few days. Maybe even a week if everything goes perfectly. But without fire, your chances of long-term survival are grim. Fire wasn't just for warmth in the medieval world. It was for cooking food to make it safe and digestible, for purifying water, for warding off predators, for crafting tools, and for providing light and psychological comfort. It was the centerpiece of life and survival. This thought experiment really puts our modern lives into perspective, doesn't it? We flip a switch for light, turn a dial for heat, and open a fridge for food. We've become so disconnected from the raw, elemental challenges that our ancestors faced daily. Surviving a medieval winter without fire isn't a game. It was a reality for anyone who found themselves lost or cast out. It required immense knowledge of the land, incredible resilience, and a little bit of luck. So next time you're feeling cozy and warm on a cold winter night, take a moment to appreciate this simple miracle of heat and light. It's a luxury our ancestors would have considered the greatest treasure on earth. What do you think is the one skill you possess that might help you survive? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more dives into the past.